Hey guys, it's me Evelyn here on the Renegade Exclusive, and today I'm going to show you guys how I created this poster that you see in front of you. I actually made it on my phone, but you guys know me, I like to create things in Photoshop. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go into Photoshop and make this poster. So here in Photoshop is the final result of the poster, and I'm going to show you guys how I got to it. So let's get started. So first we want to go ahead and say hen. We're going to go ahead and just drag his image over. You can click this here and grab his layer, simply drag it over, or you can use your move tool, click the image and then drag it over, and when you see your arrow has a plus sign, you can just drop. We're going to hold Alt on your keyboard and you can see this little box up here with the arrow pointing down. This is a clipping mask. You can also right click and create clipping mask, and it's going to automatically attach like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and resize this image, so Control T, and we're going to just scale him down until we get a size we like. I want it to be where we see most of his face and some of his shoulders, so we do something like this. And then we're going to go ahead and just exit out of his image. We're going to go ahead and pull in Hyuna's image. Which is right here. Click and drag and drop. We're going to pull her over underneath, or actually onto Sehyuna. We're going to add a clipping mask as well because we want to resize them to match. Control T, we're going to lower her fill just so that we can see her and Sehyuna, so we can match their proportions correctly. Scale her down, and she's a bit smaller now, so we're just going to go ahead and just scale her up a bit to about maybe 50 pixels, like so. I think that's a good match, and we're just going to say OK and drag her down to her layer, and then we're going to add a clipping mask 100%, and we're just going to move her over so we can see her like so. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add our airport photo, which is this one here. We're just going to drag and drop, add a clipping mask, and we're going to go ahead and resize it. Control T, scale it down until you're happy. I'm going to do something like this here, so we get like the escalators and the sitting area in there. Next, we want to add the holding hands, so we're going to go ahead and grab the Bella Thorne image. And I chose this image from the one I had because her arm is showing, and the guy's wearing gray, so it's a hand, so we can actually mask it as if, you know, like they match. We're going to create a clipping mask. We're going to Control T, and we're just going to rescale it to our liking. We want to be more of just the hands and not of them, so because Hyuna is not wearing that, so we're just going to do something like this. But you can't really tell because she's wearing white, so you can actually pretend that she is wearing this, and we'll do something like that with her holding hands like so. I'm going to close that image out. Next, we want the couple sitting on a plane, so we're going to use this here. We're going to click and drag it in, and we're going to resize it. It's of low quality, but resizing it won't make that much of a difference. We just want more of the legs in. And then we're going to add it to the layer mask, and we're just going to do something like that. And then lastly, we're going to add in the airplane texture or stock photo. Add it in, and we're just going to go ahead and resize it to where we just see the airplane taking off. And we get a lot of the background in because we wanted to show that they're leaving. So do something like that. And close those out, and now we have this done. What I like to do is like to close the group that it's in, and it's a bit different but similar. I can actually move Hyuna up a little bit more to the side, but it's not much of a difference. And once you have your images grouped, or you don't have to group them, but I like to group them. To group them, you can just have all your layers highlighted. So you select one, select the bottom one, Control G to group them like so. But once you have them grouped, I like to close the group and go Shift Control Alt E on my keyboard at once, and it's going to just sharpen my image, or just merge all my images like so. Now we're going to go ahead and do coloring. I did download some light textures for this, and I'm going to go ahead and use, I was going to use this one because I think I used that one in Afterlight, but I'm not sure. I might just stick with this blunt one, and we can always just fade it out or blur it. So I'm going to drag that over. I'm going to pull it in pretty far like so. we're going to duplicate that. Control G on your keyboard. We're going to go to Edit, Transport, Flip Horizontal. I'm just going to move it over until we see it pop in, like so. Merge, and we're going to set this on the screen. Set they both show up, and we're just going to merge down. And then we're going to set that to lighten, like so. And then we can go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur to kind of blur it out so it does have that harsh line. Now we're going to add a coloring. I do have a coloring in mind. I'm going to use this one. But we might have to do some adjustments as well to make it more softer. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that though. And just click and drag it over, and as you see, it didn't really do much. It just, like gave it a softness to it, which is what I wanted. We're just going to maybe desaturate a bit, so we're going to go up here. I'm going to add a gradient map first. I'm just going to set that to luminosity and gives it some more what I want. And I can always drag it underneath that and then have the PSD add to it, and that looks good. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a hue saturation, but I'm just going to pull the saturation down a bit just by grabbing the saturation part there. And I might just go ahead and add a selective color, and I want to bring in, or actually ignore the selective color. On your hue saturation, you're going to go to the reds, and you want to saturate the reds more, like so. You can actually go into the other colors like the blues, and you can desaturate those if you want. And then maybe the cyans, and desaturate those slightly. Maybe the greens a little bit as well, and definitely the yellows. I'll pull those out. And if you have some colors that are popping out that you don't want to pop out, we're going to go ahead and just do another hue and saturation. We're going to go ahead and do reds, desaturate. But then on this layer mask, we're going to use a round brush tool and black to paint what we want to stay colored. So like this here, we're going to do some of this, the hands, maybe her dress, definitely Hana and Sehyun. And you might have to, like, on this one you can erase some of the coloring that's on Sehyun if it's too saturated, but it looks actually quite fine. Then we're going to bring back in our color light leak. You can always adjust the coloring by going to image adjustments, hue and saturation. If it's too bright, you can always mute it down, or you can change it if you want to a different color. I'm actually going to change it just a smidge. I'm not sure in which direction. I'm more in the red orange, and then I'm going to pull up the saturation just a little bit so it gives it this look. Then I'm going to go ahead and add a pattern, and it's going to be this dust speck. I'm going to set it to lighten, like so. And then we can just add our another texture. So I'm just going to go into my textures and see if I have a texture I can use. So let's see. I'm going to use this one here. I didn't use this one in my original edit, but for the sake of tutorial, we can add more to make it better. I'm going to set that to soft light and maybe lighten it a bit, and maybe drag it underneath some of the textures, and maybe the colorings too, to give it more softness. I'm going to set my lighten to screen to see what the difference is. I'm going to keep it at screen. I like the way it looks better on screen. And I think I'm going to add maybe a dust, better dust texture if I have any. I might not, but I might add some light burst images. See if that can add some change to it. No, it doesn't look right. Now we can just add our credit. So I'm pressing the T on my toolbar for the text tool. I'm just gonna go over here where the sky is and type in Sehyuna, which is my Tumblr username, and my Instagram username is Sehyuna, which is extra O, because someone else had Sehyuna already. So we have that, and we're just gonna set those to soft light just to make it not too harsh, like so. And you can always lighten them just a smidge. So they blend in. Now we're going to go ahead and just shift control alt E on the top layer selected, and we're just going to go to filter, sharpen, smart sharpen. And we can just say okay, and we're done. This doesn't have a title. I would call it Vacation Getaway. You know, but I didn't want to put a title on it. I just wanted to show you guys how I made the edit. I hope you guys like this tutorial. I hope it's very simple and easy to follow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to have more for you guys soon. Bye guys.